Welcome, everyone. If you're focused on understanding the precise mechanics of how modern organizations protect their most valuable assets, well, you're definitely in the right place. As business analysts, we know the way corporate data is protected is fundamentally shifting, and the frontline defenders aren't always who the public expects. Okay, let's dive into this explainer and see how it all works.
40 million. Seriously, let that number sink in for a second. I want you to feel the weight of it. That is the exact number of credit card numbers compromised in the catastrophic 2013 Target data breach. It remains one of the most infamous cautionary tales in corporate history. But what actually caused a failure of that incredible magnitude?
You see, it wasn't just a failure of a firewall. As our source material reveals, the breach was largely attributed to ineffective third-party access controls and a massive system-wide breakdown in data governance procedures. Basically, long before the cybersecurity measures even had a chance to fail, the data governance failed. If stricter data classification and access controls had been implemented alongside their cybersecurity measures, the impact could have been drastically reduced. This highlights an absolutely crucial reality about how organizations must manage risk today.
To really understand this, we need to draw a clear line between two vital concepts that, honestly, way too often operate in isolated silos. Data governance involves the general oversight of data accessibility, usability, accuracy, and protection. Think of it as the ultimate rulebook. It ensures data is trustworthy across diverse systems. Cybersecurity, on the other hand, well, that entails safeguarding systems and networks from digital attacks and unauthorized access. They have this mutually beneficial relationship. Governance establishes the management guidelines, and cybersecurity protects those guidelines from internal and external risks. But because these departments are often siloed, someone has to actually build the rulebook and bridge the gap.
Section 1. The Specialized Governance BA, the hero of the corporate landscape.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the clear distinction in focus here. While general analysts focus on the gears of operational efficiency, making things run smoother and faster, the Data Governance BA treats data as a high-value asset locked inside a fortress. It's just an entirely different mindset. They aren't just optimizing workflows. They are securing the very foundation of the company.
To do this, these specialized BAs bring a highly specific technical arsenal to the table. We are talking about proficiency in SQL to directly query and analyze complex database structures and advanced metadata management tools like Calibra to establish a single, irrefutable source of truth for how data is defined and used. They also carry deep domain knowledge of governance frameworks. And, from a career outlook perspective, this market is experiencing massive growth. Certifications like the CDPSE, that's the Certified Data Privacy Solutions Engineer, are becoming incredibly powerful tools for BAs to validate their expertise and drive big architectural decisions.
Section 2. Bridging Business and Cybersecurity.
The Data Governance BA is the vital link. They are literally the ultimate translator. They take highly complex data privacy and security requirements and translate them into actionable, functional specs for IT teams. As an analyst, you have to comprehend both the technical variables and the business factors, creating strategies that guarantee data is available for those who actually need it, but totally protected from ever-changing cybersecurity risks.
Look at the core concerns mapped across these departments. Developing a governance strategy requires navigating some heavily conflicting priorities. IT is hyper-focused on data loss prevention, or DLP. Legal, meanwhile, is losing sleep over GDPR compliance and data retention. And operations, they just want usability and efficiency so they can do their jobs. The business analyst acts as the intermediary. They arrange the meetings, collect these highly varied perspectives, and ensure all parties are in sync so that the final governance measures actually align with the required cybersecurity practices.
Section 3. Managing Access and Compliance. This right here is where policy becomes practice through a critical protocol sequence. First up, gathering requirements, comprehending how stakeholders use data and recognizing the potential dangers. Second, the risk assessment. The BA analyzes the storage, access, and transmission of data, collaborating with cybersecurity teams to rank threats and pinpoint vulnerabilities. Finally, defining access controls. Now, this step is notorious in the industry for causing internal friction, because you must decide exactly who has the power to view, alter, or distribute particular sets of data. People don't always like losing access, but clear ownership is arguably the strongest defense against a breach.
So, the crucial point is that this exact protocol is what keeps a company out of serious legal trouble. Business analysts ensure that these governance strategies align directly with major regulations like the GDPR, HIPAA in healthcare, and the CCPA.
By enforcing these regulations within the data structures, the BA dramatically reduces the risk of massive legal sanctions and ensures the company is playing strictly by industry rules. And this brilliantly illustrates what translating policy into action actually looks like. To be clear, BAs do not personally deploy cybersecurity tech. They aren't the ones writing the firewall code. Instead, they provide the architectural blueprint for IT. This involves setting strict guidelines for data encryption, identity verification, and maintaining audit logs. They ensure that technical solutions deployed by IT perfectly match the business and regulatory needs.
Section 4. Governing Emerging Technologies.
The sources highlight this perfectly. Quote, as organizations adopt AI and IoT technologies, business analysts face new challenges in creating governance frameworks. End quote. These aren't as minor software updates, folks. They are literally the final bosses of data governance. They are entirely new ecosystems that demand vast quantities of data and incredibly strict continuous oversight.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Notice the distinct architectural differences between these ecosystems. With AI, models are hungry for massive centralized data sets. The BA has to establish procedures for data acquisition, accurate labeling, and safe utilization, all while following strict privacy regulations. IoT, on the other hand, fractures data across thousands of unmanaged, decentralized physical devices. The BA must collaborate deeply with cybersecurity to ensure governance across a staggering scale of endpoints. It's a huge task.
Section 5. Overcoming internal resistance.
However, despite all the advanced technology, the AI models, and the complex frameworks, the absolute most difficult challenge a business analyst faces is entirely human. A frequent obstacle BAs encounter is internal opposition. Employees often hesitate to embrace new data management practices simply because it disrupts their daily routines. Furthermore, leadership may not provide enough resources or funding for these vital cybersecurity initiatives. Human resistance and underfunded initiatives can undermine even the most brilliantly designed governance structure.
To overcome this, the BA has to employ a highly targeted strategy. It involves engaging stakeholders at a very early stage, communicating the concrete advantages like minimized risk and improved compliance. Then, it requires continuous education, training employees on data governance policies and showing them their specific role in the company's cybersecurity. Delivering this company-wide culture of security is really the ultimate output of a successful business analyst.
Ultimately, business analysts are the essential architects bridging the gap between business goals and technical security standards. They identify the risks, force the cross-functional collaboration, and enforce the compliance. So as you look at your own organization's reliance on data today, ask yourself, is your organization's bridge built to withstand the next cyber storm? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.